Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I am genuinely so happy you decided to join me today. Whether you are currently single, happily coupled up, or just really interested in tech psychology, this deep dive is absolutely for you. Before we get into the really juicy stuff, if any of this sounds interesting, please smash that like button and subscribe to the channel right now. I focus on breaking down psychology, technology, manipulation tactics, and the hidden mechanics of how the modern world truly operates. Your support directly helps me keep producing this kind of in-depth content, so thank you in advance, and let's finally jump into this topic. You perform the routine action. You swipe right. But sometimes, absolutely, nothing seems to happen for days. Yet, you keep checking back because then, suddenly, you get that magical match notification or an unexpected first message. For some inexplicable reason, that little hit keeps pulling you back into the application loop over and over again. Dating applications have rapidly become the absolute primary way for new couples to initiate contact across the globe. With over 50 million people actively using these services every single day, the scale of this phenomenon is truly staggering. But here is the cold, hard truth that the apps really don't want you to realize. They are not fundamentally engineered to help you successfully find enduring love. No, their primary design mandate is to keep you deeply addicted to the experience of using the app itself. They want you perpetually swiping, constantly checking for updates, and frequently opening your wallet to pay for more access. The core business model here is not romance or successful partnerships. It is pure user engagement and eventual monetization. And to achieve this, these platforms have quietly become absolute masters of sophisticated psychological manipulation techniques. Today, we are meticulously breaking down the exact mechanisms they use to manipulate your behavior and explaining why you continue to return despite never finding what you truly seek. Dating apps skillfully employ the exact same potent psychological principle that makes classic slot machines so notoriously addictive, the variable reward system. With every single swipe you make, you are essentially participating in a calculated gamble, a constant game of chance. You never know if the next profile will result in a match or if the next match will actually send a worthwhile message. It is this crucial element of pure unpredictability that creates the very powerful addictive hook that keeps you hooked. Your brain releases floods of dopamine, the pleasure chemical, not just when you finally get the reward, but every single time there is even a slight TC chance of receiving one. Just stop and consider the rhythm. You swipe, you wait, you get nothing at all. You swipe again, and still, nothing manifests to reward your action, creating mounting anticipation. Then, after 50 seemingly fruitless swipes into the void, a sudden confirmed match appears, and your brain floods with that rewarding chemical rush. That feeling is incredibly euphoric, compelling you to log back in the very next day, desperately hoping to chase that same chemical high once more. This is precisely the same blueprint utilized by the casino industry to keep patrons glued to the one-armed bandit, and dating apps use it deliberately. Realistically, the apps possess the technical capability to make matching much easier, or even guarantee you'll find someone engaging to talk to, but they refuse to do so because that essential uncertainty is what keeps your eyes glued to the screen for much longer periods. That extended engagement time directly translates into more ad views, more data captured, and ultimately more revenue for the company. The apps heavily rely on creating a sense of artificial scarcity to effectively manipulate your expectations and behavior on the platform. They could easily present you with every single suitable match available right now, but instead, they ration the supply very carefully. They meticulously show you just one profile at a time, which instantly triggers that psychological response associated with scarcity. Here is where the manipulation becomes far more insidious. Many of these services deploy secret algorithms that actively govern who even gets to view your profile. You might be matched with people who live too far away, or who the system already knows are completely incompatible with your stated goals. But they never tell you this fact. The app continues to feed you profile after profile, and you continue swiping endlessly, desperately clinging to the hope of a legitimate connection. Furthermore, some applications intentionally inject profiles of users who are completely inactive or who have already explicitly stated disinterest in your demographic. The reason for this seemingly counterintuitive approach is simple. It maximizes the total time you spend swiping on the platform. And if you are one of the users who is actually paying a monthly subscription, the manipulation can become even more direct. Certain apps are known to completely hide your profile visibility from other paying members until you upgrade to an even higher tier of service. This insidious practice is just thinly veiled manipulation, dressed up neatly as a desirable premium feature for the dedicated user. Make no mistake, dating applications generate the vast majority of their profits directly through manufacturing user frustration. They are intentionally architected to make the free experience just inconvenient enough that you finally throw money at the screen in desperation. Free users are typically given a very strict, limited daily quota for how many profiles they can actually swipe through. Once that hard limit is hit, you are instantly forced to either wait for many hours or, more likely, purchase an immediate top-up. Furthermore, your precious matches often come with an expiration timer attached, creating manufactured urgency that pressures you. If you fail to send that opening message within the allotted window, that potential connection simply vanishes into the ether, lost forever. This design choice pressures you into checking the app almost constantly, feeding that addiction loop we discussed earlier. And then there is the entire ecosystem of premium, paid features designed purely to remove friction for a fee. Undo a mistaken swipe, see precisely who already liked your profile, or temporarily boost your visibility. All of these cost real money. Every single paid feature is meticulously engineered to make the free baseline experience feel aggressively incomplete and intentionally frustrating. The subtle psychological trick is that the app makes you feel tantalizingly close to success if you just purchase that one extra feature. So you spend a little more this month and then a little more the next, all while the fundamental problem remains unaddressed. The actual core issue is that the platform is meticulously designed to prevent you from ever achieving true, lasting success on the service. Beyond the engagement mechanics, dating apps are harvesting an absolutely enormous quantity of your deeply personal data. This includes your precise geographical location, your stated preferences, your private message content, and all your behavioral patterns. Every single piece of information you provide becomes incredibly valuable currency in the digital marketplace. These platforms routinely sell this comprehensive data haul to third-party advertisers, data brokers, and various market researchers. They use all this raw input to construct incredibly detailed psychological profiles about every single person on their network. And they absolutely leverage these precise profiles to manipulate your future on-app behavior in highly targeted ways. The application learns exactly what kind of profile makes you pause your endless swiping session and what specific text prompts you to engage. It then exclusively feeds you perfectly optimized profiles, specifically calculated to trigger those known behavioral responses, regardless of actual compatibility. There is also a much darker edge to this data collection, where apps actively try to pinpoint your deepest psychological vulnerabilities. Are you feeling intensely lonely right now? The algorithm absolutely takes note of that specific emotional state. Are you showing signs of deep-seated desperation for external validation? The system identifies that pattern almost instantly. It then carefully feeds you carefully curated interactions, designed solely to exploit those precise emotional weak points for continued usage. A perfectly timed match here, a slightly flattering comment there, just enough interaction to keep you hopeful and financially invested. Understanding these intense manipulation tactics does not mean you must immediately delete all your dating apps forever. Thankfully, it simply means you can begin to engage with them far more consciously and with a much healthier level of self-awareness. Here is the most critical piece of knowledge you need to carry forward. The app's ultimate objective is never your personal happiness. The app's singular, unwavering purpose is to secure and maximize your daily time spent inside their ecosystem. You must proactively set firm boundaries for yourself, perhaps limiting app usage to a small, defined window each day. If you are currently spending money on subscriptions, you absolutely must impose a strict, non-negotiable spending cap on yourself. Learn to instantly recognize that familiar, slightly anxious feeling of chasing that next variable reward hit, and pause when you feel it. Always remember the design principle. If the free experience feels deliberately frustrating, that intended annoyance is by deliberate design. The healthiest and most sustainable approach is to treat these applications strictly as tools, not as replacements for your actual social life. View them as one minor avenue among many for meeting new people, not the sole gateway to all romantic possibility. Prioritize connecting with people organically through shared real-world activities, social groups, and community events whenever you can, because those authentic, in-person connections will never come bundled with a complex, hidden set of algorithmic manipulation tactics. And finally, when you do secure a match, never let the app's artificial sense of urgency pressure you into rushing the important getting to know you process. Give yourself the time and space to actually get to know the individual behind the carefully curated profile picture. Because true, meaningful human connection simply cannot be effectively rushed or dictated by any proprietary algorithm. Thank you all so much for taking the time to watch this comprehensive breakdown of how these complex apps truly function. If you found this video genuinely eye-opening regarding dating psychology, please make sure you hit that like button right away. Drop a detailed comment down below. I want to hear specifically what your experiences with these manipulation tactics have been like.